Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tech Talk Tuesday. I'm your host, Rick Smith. This is the place to learn how to run your IT service business, whether you're one person shop, or leading a team for the journey. This is the place for you. Let me introduce my co-host, Paco Lebron, fresh from the ASCII conference. Paco, how you doing today?
Rick, better than good, better than most, as I like to say. How are you doing today?
I'm surviving. I'm surviving. Been actually, you know what? Nothing to complain about. It's been a pretty good week so far. Again, we got to remember it's only Tuesday, but we're getting there.
My days have been all messed up. Last week has been definitely a busy one, but I'm sure we'll get into all that kind of a couple things that are going on between the both of us. So we'll see how it all plays out.
Yes, sir. Yeah, before we get into it today, Paco, we've got to give a quick shout out to our upcoming event here, TechCon Unplugged. TechCon Unplugged is September 16th to the 18th at the Hilton Rosemont, Chicago O'Hare. There you will learn from like-minded business owners in panels and breakout sessions, gain key takeaways from partners and vendors in the space. And my favorite part of it all, you get to experience that one-to-one or spontaneous group conversation, where, as Paco always says, the magic happens. Tickets are $2.99 and can be purchased at TechCon Unplugged. We look forward to seeing you all there in September. Okay, Paco, so you went to the ASCII conference last week, left me alone again.
And I'm gonna leave you again. I'll leave you alone again next week. So
he's trying to make me learn, everybody. He's trying to make me learn. I'll get there. I'll get there. But any great learnings from ASCII? Anything you think you should share with the community?
ASCII is always that main event where you just get so much out of it. And big ups to everybody over there, from Jerry, Lynn, Trevor, Jesse, Brianna, who just joined onto their team over there. I may be missing a couple people, and I apologize for that. I mean, they throw an amazing event. Like, it's just, they feed you well. This was probably one of the best ASCII conferences that they've had in a long time. A lot of great educational content. It wasn't that much pitching. Met up with a lot of great friends. The people over at Gradient, Tim Coach and Ola over there, who are trying to build out the community and really focus on the channel. Appreciate them talking to me. They took me out just so I can show them a little bit of the Chicago love. Also went ahead, and Jerry took quite a bit of us out to Portillo's, because we had to show kind of everyone there who were visiting what is about the Chicago dog. So, I mean, all in all, great event, a lot of great key takeaways. And hopefully we'll have Jerry on the show. We were talking at the show that we'll have him on for everybody to talk about ASCII and why that's a big benefit to just people on their bottom line, because it's a great organization. They're doing a lot for us. I'm an ASCII member. Rick, I think, is an ASCII member as well. There's just so much benefit to joining on there for the minimal amount that you're supporting the organization. So, but man, key takeaways. I mean, there was just so many things that they went over. The thing that stands out the most to me was Bradley Gross's presentation, and really talking about a lot. And he really had a live review of contracts, and it was just eye-opening on how much more that you have to think about contracts, right? And we had Liz earlier on in the year to talk about contracts and how important it was, but he was really able to deliver on just another reason why you need contracts. So he had a great presentation, great, amazing details on just understanding that your contracts have to speak to reality, understanding what is the reality of things, and being able to explain that in your contract. So definitely great opportunity. If you have an ASCII conference coming near you, I believe he is on that full road tour. So I definitely would go ahead and check it out. There was also a one-man band who was the $1 million MSP is kind of the moniker that they gave for that session. And what I learned from that one was really trying to scale and utilizing ASCII services. So, he mentioned, or at least there was a tagline on the table where he made $200,000 by utilizing the ASCII subcontracting desk. And for us, we've been having a real hard time with some of the vendors and subcontractors that we have, just because either limited time or just trying to get people, and I can't find an on-site tech. So this was a resource that I knew was available, but just didn't really utilize, right? So that, and just a lot of great things that are coming out. I think the vendors are really trying to push out a lot of good stuff that are coming in the pipeline. But yeah, just really trying to figure out on just some of the next steps. Process and procedure was kind of the big thing on kind of harping on, understanding on how to negotiate and, improve your sales. So, you got a little bit of everything inside the ASCII conference. So I definitely would, for those that want to go, I definitely would suggest it as well. But yeah, that's kind of my takeaway from there, from those two sessions. Really great stuff. And then kind of coming back to work and facing the music with a couple of issues that happened over the week. So last week into this week.
Okay. Sounds good though. Excuse me. It's always good to, get away, even though I know it was in Chicago, so it's in your backyard, but you go to a place, you get with peers, get some good learnings, some things to bring back, bring back to your business.
So they advertise. So that they advertised it was Chicago, but it was actually in Lincolnshire. So from Chicago. So, and whoever's from Illinois who says they're from Chicago and they're upset that I'm going to say this, I'm sorry, it's true. So, and then there's a new term that I learned as well. But anyway, so Chicago is big enough as it is. Like everyone thinks of downtown Chicago. That's Chicago. But Chicago stretches as north to far, I don't know how many miles, and then south as much as far as it can go close to obviously Indiana. So there's a good portion of Chicago that reaches suburbs of Illinois. Okay, my office is in the downtown office in the downtown business district. I live in a western suburb of Chicago. So apparently the term I heard was Chicago proper. Apparently that means that you're actually from Chicago, which I've never heard because I'm from Chicago. Anyway, the ASCII conference was actually in Lincolnshire. So from my downtown office is 45 minutes away. Mm-hmm. From the airport, it's about 30 minutes away. So nice resort. It was at the 10 Lincolnshire Marriott. Really nice. You can do a lot of stuff there. I think you get a cab up there, but by no means was it Chicago. So yeah, as you could say, I definitely had to do a hop, skip, and a jump to get to that backyard.
Oh, okay. and I know that as somebody who grew up in New York, it's always interesting how people will say such and such is in New York. It's like, that's not New York. That's upstate, or that's that's Long Island. Yep. But I totally get it though. Yep. But I mean, it's good though. Even though you had to drive a little bit forward, get a little away, it's still good that you got some positive things out of it, and that's all that really counts. Yep. As I was thinking about it this week, I know you've had a couple of things going on, and we can get into it, but I wanted to speak just personally on one of the things that I'm trying to turn over. I don't know, a new attitude, new leaf on, new look at things.
New spin on things.
Yeah. The business is I love the business, and it's this dates back to something Kramer and I a couple of weeks ago. Kramer and I were talking about, and the more I'm learning about, not necessarily my business, but what I'm learning about what I want to do with the business and the next steps. I'm learning that, and I don't want to offend anyone or make anyone feel that I'm trying to give myself super props or be super smart. But I'm learning that the tech part of this is a lot easier, right? It's when we talk about, being an MSP or being a business owner, I'm starting to focus more on the business portion of it because I've spent so much time focusing on the tech side of it. And I'm learning that there's so many things I need to take into account about running the business portion of it. And I'm starting to enjoy it. And it was one of those things I actually probably didn't do because, I wasn't as good at it. So you tend to shy away from things you're not as strong with. But B, it was just because I didn't want to do it. All I wanted to do was, quote unquote, fix computers. But now I want to be, I'm learning that, that whole quote unquote VCIO role, and that whole presenting more to your clients than just safety and protection or efficient running computers has gotten to be more important. So it's just that I can't, because of the role and the size of my business, I can't ever I will, at least now, I can't step away from the tech full fledged, but I am going to spend a lot more time on the business side on the growth side of the business. And I'm actually looking forward to it. So I've been, doing a lot of reading, a lot of, it's funny. You and I come on here, we talk about business all the time, and I get a lot of, recommendations, information from you. And, whether we're talking online or we're talking offline, but it's somehow you hear it and then you don't hear it because it's not what you're focused on at the moment. So then as I started to make this transition, it's like all of these conversations we've had, all of the shows I've been to, all of the people I've talked to, all of the things I've read, they're all starting to replay in my head now. And it's just funny. I wanted to get that out because it's just and I realized, and I'm going to say this, and then we'll get back on topic. But I'm going to say this: I realized this, and I mentioned it when Kramer and I were talking a couple of weeks ago. Kramer Snug, so I don't keep saying Kramer like everyone knows who it is, and it's not the guy.
He's known as Kramer Snugs, and Kramer, you can be watching this. We're gonna keep calling you Kramer Snugs. That's how everybody know. We're gonna make you infamous, baby.
Shout out to you, Kramer. Shout out. But we were talking just about business in general. And I said to him something that, someone else brought back up to me later on. And it's that I now detest the title of computer guy. I used to love it. I used to call a client and say, "Hey, it's Rick." And they say, "Rick." I said, "The computer guy." And everybody knows who it is. Now I don't want to, because what we offer, what we do as MSPs is so much more than just being the computer guy. Right. And, we need to recognize that and, label ourselves as such internally, and then externally, translate that to what we give to our clients and what we explain to them about who we are, what we do, and what we represent to their business. Because, it's something I've learned, I've come to realize. We've always known it, but I've just come to realize we do so much more than just fix the machines. So I just wanted to get that out there, get it off my chest.
No, I mean, I think those are all good points, right? I think that the fact that it's all about the journey, right? And it's all about how you want to position yourself, right? And some branding for "I'm the computer guy" is great, and that's the lifestyle. That's your business. That's what you want to do. Kind of go from there. But, then there are those that want to do more and understand how to go from there. I mean, I'm running into the same problem. Like for me, and I think I'm now becoming better at this because I've kind of let the team run amok for the past 2 months and do their own thing. And quite frankly, there's so much stuff that's on fire. It's maddening and it's hard because you want to jump in. But like what my good friend Juan Fernandez always used to say in his MSP, it was, if all roads lead to Juan is the problem. Right. So if they're all coming to you and you're trying to make them self-sufficient, you're the failure. You're the single point of failure. How do you fix that? Right. And so kind of doing that has been my struggle. So that's really been my biggest struggle the past, I want to say maybe even the last 6 months. And really is making my team self-sufficient and really understanding and really having them figure out things on their own. And what we've learned, and I keep saying this, process and procedures and blah, 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 blah. But what it comes to find out is that it's really even a step further, right? And I had a great conversation with Tim Coach over at Gradient MSP, and how he was kind of explaining to me is, sometimes things can frustrate you and really get you upset, but it's up to you on how to have the proper conversation to the employee or contractor in their safe space. And so he suggested a book to me called Crucial Conversations by Joseph Grenny, Kerry Patterson, and Ron something or whatever. Ron M is what I see here. I can't see the rest of the name, but it's over on Amazon, and I got it on Audible. But it really talks about how when you have the ability to talk to someone and understand where their safe space is to communicate to them on how to do something, it helps drive them further than you just maybe chewing them out. And there's some people that's what they need. They need a good chewing out, and then bam, they're back on it. But there's some that kind of just feel defeated. Now they're inside of themselves, and you will never get the throughput that you need because you destroyed them in their view of how to conversate on what needs to be corrected or what needs to be helped, right? And that's really where it's coming out. Is just trying to figure out where the dysfunctions are of my team, which was another book that was suggested to me called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and it's called by Patrick Lencioni. So that is one I'm listening to as well to really understand how do I make an efficient team, right? Because I know I need to sit down and put the processes and procedures, but I keep getting pulled away for other things because I'm the one that knows where the bodies are buried. So I have to continue to really keep pushing to understand what's happening and sit down and really document things out, which that was what we did part last week. That's what I'm doing part this week. And I'm running it through with my level 1 tech as the one that's documenting so he can become a subject matter expert and help out as it sees fit. But all through all that, as you just mentioned, there is a huge opportunity of just trying to figure out what your flavor is and where you can kind of put yourself in and understand how do you move forward and really get to a point of, okay, I'm comfortable. I'm where I am as a business. Now let's hit the gas and let's keep going. Right. And now we found our groove. Now we can actually make some difference, make an impact with our clients, help them out, and, make a little money on the side as well.
Couple of dollars.
A couple of dollars. Yeah. So,
yeah, but that's definitely the steps we got to take, and just to feed off of that about all roads leading back to you. I'm trying to offload some of the responsibility. So talked to Latrice the other day, and she says, "Well, I don't know certain things, but I don't know this, I don't know that." So I sat down over the weekend, and it's just funny. I thought it'd be 2 or 3 things. I had to write this list of things that I need to either document or explain to her how they're done, or the process and the procedure for it. I started writing it down, wrote down 6, stopped, doing something else. Oh, I got to do this too. Wrote down a couple of more. At the end, first of all, this will be a 15-minute thing. 3 hours later, I got 31 things on the list of things that, okay, I don't really necessarily need to be the one doing anymore, but I'm the only one who, as you said, I know where the bodies are raised. I'm the only one who necessarily knows how to do it or what to do it or the way to do it or who to see for it. So I'm basically going to have to write a book on what needs to be done. But I think this is great for a couple of reasons. I want to be able to, when I think I've mentioned this before, but when I go on vacation or go away, I want to be able to go on vacation and go away. I want to be able to empower the people who work for me to make decisions, to do the right thing, to know that, and to be confident that they can do it all without me. Because at some point you want the business to run, I guess someone said I think it was you last week who said someone told you the definition of success in the business.
Oh yeah. When someone else cares about the business more than you.
Right. And your ability to not have to be in the business for the business to still be successful. Now I have no, I'll just, be honest. I have no intentions of trying to build a business to sell or I have no thoughts of that at this moment because I do love it. But I also will think it's if I'm looking back at what I've accomplished, yes, I want to build a strong, successful, very well financially structured business. But I also want to build something that at the end, when I look back and say, hey, I'm done with this now, I've created something, special. I've created something that if, I know I got daughters, and that's not to say that they're no women in tech, but they have zero interest in what I do. I try everything I can to get them to do something in the business to learn. And, I got my middle child's in college. She's looking for an internship. I say, well, you can come work for me. I got, she's in the market. I got plenty of marketing stuff to do. I can't put on my resume, I work for my dad. I said, but you're not working for your dad. You're working for the company. Nobody has to know who owns the company. You're working for the company to do the work.
Right.
But again, the goal is, and this is that paradigm shift I guess I'm going through at this moment, is the goal is to not only just be, a proficient tech company, or, quote unquote tech company or MSP, but, to build the foundation of strong business that, my clients can rely on, and they look at it more as, more of that partnership than just that tech service portion of it, I guess is what I'm trying to get to.
No, I mean, I think so there's two things, right, that I kind of hear from you is that obviously you want to build a business for legacy, and you want to be able to really build out that ability that when you look back at it, hey, I did my thing. I really got this thing going. It's in a good spot. It's here to go through. If your daughters wanted to take it over, you can let them take it over if you wanted to when you're ready to go on and to the next endeavors or whatnot. So it definitely speaks to that. But really, just you're trying to make an actual business, right? Like
Right.
It's really trying to you had an idea. It was you kind of doing a job. You had a career, and now you have a business that you're actually gaining things to do stuff and kind of going from there. And I think, like for me, I actually got to the point where I started feeling bad where I wasn't doing the things I used to do for my business. And like, I'm not there picking up the calls for my clients to take care of them. I'm not there as the point person if they have issues to coordinate and things like that. But as I think about it, it's like, well, no, yeah, that's the point. Like, that's why I hired these people, for them to take care of it. Like, if I wanted to do all that, I don't need the staff, right? But the whole point of me getting the staff was for me to be able to scale and do other things I enjoy to do. One, doing the podcast, right? And being able to throw the event and kind of going from there. Because I can tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, this does not pay the bills. I will tell you that. So, but I do this as a necessity for, it really helps for giving the inspire peak of not only my journey, but for someone else that looks like me to say, hey, he did it. Let me go ahead and model what I can do from him, but tweak it and kind of go from there. And I don't mean just like look like me. I mean, it's just a matter of like, I personally do not believe I am the stereotypical IT business owner / computer tech. I was raised in the wrong part of town. I had a swagger in my step. I didn't know how to talk to clients back in the day. It took a couple mentors to kind of rein me in and mold me into a better communication and customer service and understanding how, reading the room and little nuances and things like that. And multiple people in my life later on, now that I am an IT business owner, I know how to flip on and off, but really hold true to my authenticity. So I think it's really been an ability for us to help that, right? And two, just really driving on the fact that owning a business or running a business with staff is not a bad thing. You can do what you want to do depending on what your style. There isn't one way to do it compared to like what the industry was trying to tell all of us, that you had to buy these tools, you had to spend this much money, you had to do it this way to be successful, which is BS. And there's quite a few people that have proven that wrong. And I think as we move forward, with a lot of these acquisitions and mergers and things of that nature, I think it's all on all of us who are compared to them smaller in size to kind of work together and partner up and really figure out who we have good rapport to compete and still make a living at the same time.
And it's just, it's about the growth, about, and when I say growth, I'm talking about the growth as people that we, as an individual you make, that helps to infuse the growth in your business and and the growth in life and reach those goals. I'm actually, for the first time in a long time, I'm actually having a ball doing this, because and you know what I mean, there were times I was like, man, this is driving me nuts. And don't get me wrong, clients, there are those things that still drive me up a wall. There are, phone calls I'll get or thing, clients I deal with that will make me want to sometimes, make my head explode. But at the same time, at the end of it, I think one of the greatest joys you get out of any, is when you start something is getting to the end to solve a problem. And that's what a lot of this allows us to do is, we will have a problem in front of us and we're relentless about solving it. So now I've just, for me and growing a business and taking those steps, it's like, so now the next journey or problem to solve for me is learning how to grow the business side of it, let go so much of the tech. There was a question, I think it was in the Tech Tribe. I'm pretty sure it was in the Tech Tribe forum, and someone asked, what is the hardest thing, what is the hardest thing as a business owner you had to do, or something like that. The question was phrased somewhere in that along those lines. And a lot of the people, if someone made the comment, says, is delegating, is letting go of certain things to let other people do it. And that was like, a lot of people just, second and third that feeling. And that is where we are. You grow this business and you've taken the steps, which are great because you've started the business, you've grown the business. Now you're, you because of success and the way you've set it up, your structure, you're able to step back a little bit, like you say, not answer the phones as much, or, not have to be there for every ticket to be done or completed and things like that. And that's great. And you're learning, or you have learned to do that, to take that step back. I am still always over the shoulder, looking, making sure, trying to check.
Right.
And I'm being honest, I'm trying to check myself on it. Again, let go of a little bit, trust others. And, until they prove that they are not capable, don't assume that they're not. You know what I mean? And so it's that transition we're all making. And it's just, again, it's an exciting time. It's like starting all over again almost.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, delegation is hard, and that kind of comes into frustrations and conflict, where when you delegate to staff, you delegate to subcontractors, right? So I had an incident last week where, I have this vendor, he runs our cabling, he does, a lot with his team. But they're always, for every job, there's always something. Like, there's always something to have to address, or there's something that we have to take care of, or there's something that didn't get done, right? And so, this can range from the port box was put in the wrong place, the cables were not properly tied down, they took the firewall when they weren't supposed to, when I had to go on there to install it. They had the equipment on what to install, but they missed the 3 access points that were blatantly there because it wasn't on the map to install. Just all kinds of, like, there was always something to what they had to do. So this past week really went ahead where a couple of their ports were messed up. So they had to repunch them down. But then apparently they drilled this, one of the patch boxes underneath the desk, and drilled 2 screws into this custom wooden desk that was built for the front desk, and 2 screws straight through. So of course they were so low, I didn't notice anything about it. But apparently the owner found it, and so did the manager, and they were rightfully mad. They were like, "What the heck?" So we called the vendor, he doesn't reply. So apparently they went this morning to go ahead and take it. But you could just tell, like, the tone, because there's been a couple of things that have happened with this client, that the tone of the client just shifted. Like, this was a whole, like, all right, you guys have messed up quite a few times already. We may be having to look elsewhere, right? Was the kind of the vibe and the feel that we got. Because I usually am on a text basis. These were my very first managed service clients. I've had them for the past probably 5 years because they were my official managed service clients. And, for me and they just expanded to their 3rd location. They're growing, the plan is for them for 6. So, like, this is a big account for me to lose. And I have built really personal and good relationships with these people because they know my acumen and my rapport. So I was madder than all heck. And so I texted the vendors. They never got back to me, but they showed up without telling us to fix it this morning. as I mentioned earlier. So that got me even more mad that like, oh, so you're just dropping in on our clients now and not even explaining what's going on. So yeah, so once we get it all settled and up, it's just one of those where it's like, yeah, you're gone, right? We just have to get rid of that. But then there's frustrations where like my remote team who are trying to troubleshoot issues, right away if they see a blue screen error that says an error, oh, we need an on-site. Oh, we need an on-site. Like, look, bleepers, I'm not going ahead and paying you to be an outsourced help desk. You are my help desk. Figure it the F out, right? And that's kind of what my point is. So, and their thing is like, well, what can we do? And so my whole point is like, all right, how do you drive to the solution? The solution is, how do I get the client a working PC? So work backwards. Okay, the computer is off. All right. Computer's offline. It has that. There's clearly a hardware issue. Is it under warranty? Did you check to see if it's under warranty? Which computer is it? Go through. Oh, guess what? This is the computer we've been explaining to them to replace for the past several months. If you would have looked at the ticket notes according to this actual system, which is tied into with Synchro, you would have known, hey, Mr. Client, this computer is actually out of date. We're not going to send an on-site to fix it because it's already on its way out. Let's get it replaced and schedule an on-site for then. So that's my whole point of like, how are you not checking the warranty? How are you not checking the age of the PC? And so for me, I'm just thinking to myself, like, why was an on-site the first question? Like, we have this process with our other systems is pull up the serial number, check the warranty. If there's a warranty on it, coordinate the warranty for it to be repaired. Like, that's just how we have done it for the past 2 years. So now all of a sudden, I think they just feel like they're inundated with all these tickets. They're just like, all right, next, all right, next, all right, next. And it's like, okay, well, this is not how it works. So there's a lot of that's happening that's being frustrating. But again, going back to these resources that are available to me, hopefully will allow me to be a better leader to then communicate that to my team before they find that I have a size 13 that's on the sign of the size. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But again, I speak in truth that, it's a very frustrating time to really understand the scalability and growth. However, it is a need where I understand that I am the problem. So I have to figure out, how do I fix that? Right. So, and that's where I go back to that cycle and really understanding, how do we leverage our team? Because now we're at 6 people, growing to probably 7 or 8 by the end of the year. We got to nail a lot of this down, or we're just going to be spinning plates all over the place and I'll never get anywhere fast.
Well, the positive thing, it sounds like, I'm sure you'll find people who can give you some advice on this, but I think the greatest thing about it is you recognize the issue and you recognize where you can make adjustments, because a lot of times what we do, I've had plenty of conversations with business owners, who just immediately go and just blame their team. They're idiots. Right. They don't know what they're doing. They just don't, but again, there's a level of training that goes with that.
Right.
A level of and when I say tools, I don't mean, vendor-based tools, but just the tools that we can give our, the knowledge and the steps that we can give to our employees to help solve some of these problems. And probably the best thing that's going on right now is that you recognize changes you can make within you to help them along. And that's probably the most important thing for any business owner, is to realize, hey, again, and I'm just going to say it this way, when the shit ain't right, sometimes it's just me. You know what I mean? It's like you said, when all roads lead back to me. So, that's great. And it's a learning lesson for all of us. And it's one, sometimes it's hard to swallow. And like, because, you personally wouldn't do it that way. But, this person doesn't think like you, but they have to start, and our job is to train them to think like the company does. You know what I mean? Not like Paco does, but how ProdigyTeks does. And, that's for you to set the culture, set the tone. But it's for all of us, though. It's a great learning lesson because, again, we're all going to be we're all either faced with it now or at some point going to be faced with it. And if you're not prepared for it, it's going to bite you in the ass.
Right. Yeah, that couldn't have said it any better. That is for sure.
But it's one of those things where it's just, we learn as we go along, and that's what the purpose of this conversation is, what this show is, for all of us, being able to share these things and pass them down. You and I right now have been bouncing ideas off each other, or bouncing stories off each other, but I do want to do this and give that open casting call to anybody out there to come join us. This Paco and I, again, we talk about this stuff. We because we first and foremost enjoy it, but we have the conversation, and it's educational, but it's also therapeutic. But we also realize that we don't know everything, and our way of looking at it is not necessarily the only way to look at it. So, we invite, any of our colleagues out there to come on the show. And as you see, it's very informal. We're just two business owners who happen to own tech companies, talking about our business and talking about technology. But, that's the goal. And I want to put that out in the atmosphere, that everyone's welcome to join us, and spend some time talking to us. Tell us about your business. I'm sure that there are some learnings you can give us and the rest of the community. And that's what we're here for, and that's the whole purpose of this. And that is why, for me, I was thinking about this earlier today. As I'm continuing to grow my business and do things, this is not a chore. It is fun. It is very educational, and it's something that I'm very committed to now. It's just, I've been a member of the community for a long time, and talk to Paco and everyone offline, but and I'm not the greatest on the camera and all that stuff. I'm learning it all, but it is, for me, personally, just a very, it's I guess I can't find the word, but it's great for me. It's therapeutic. it's learning out there. I guess
it's very cathartic.
Oh, okay. See, he took the SATs, but
I'm sure I pronounced it wrong too. So,
but so again, I'm not gonna keep harping on this, but I do want to invite anyone out there listening to us. If you're interested in joining us, please do. It just takes an email. You can get on the show, and again, we don't know any more than you do, and I'm sure you can get some learnings from us, and we can get some from you. And it's all goes back to the community, which is what this has really been started for, and what it's about.
Yeah, no, we definitely got a lot of great new techs that will be joining us soon. I just got to get them booked. A lot of perspectives, a lot of different niches, or niches for our friends up north, and a lot of great new vendors that I think will be an opportunity to really understand what we do, and really get to a point of understanding just kind of what we're trying to take care of and really educate for our attendees and our listeners. Just as a kind of a quick glimpse of what we have going on, I'm actually in talk with Fred over at UVK. I think this is a big request from the community to do a training of some sort. We're going to actually have him on the podcast to kind of introduce those who don't know what UVK is. Ultra Virus Killer is the name of the software, but UVK is kind of the going name moving forward. But it has so many utilities inside of it that a lot of our community has begun to really utilize. It's brandable, and it's very powerful altogether. And what we also are going to do exclusively with Fred is, if you're part of the MSP community, our MSP Unplugged community, we will actually have a training session inside of the Facebook group specifically for everyone to do of a Q&A, understand what you can do inside of that. So we will get that scheduled and in the books. So if interested to join the MSP Unplugged Facebook community, you can head over to patreon.com/MSP Unplugged, and you'll be able to donate. I believe it's about a buck a show, and that'll gain you admission to the Facebook group. And this is going to be a great session that we'll have coming up. Also, for those that are going to be local or will be in Chicago, as I mentioned last week, Channel Pro is having their event next week, May 4th and 5th. If we get 12 locals, which I haven't received 12 notifications that there will be 12 of our guys being there, they have reserved us a office space so that we can have a little meetup on May 4th during the day before the reception, and then enjoying the festivities and the conference on the 5th next Wednesday and Thursday. So I implore you, head over to channelproevents.com or channelpronetwork.com/events. Use my code. I'll have that in the description, but PLVIP. And make sure that you register for no cost to you to be in attendance and hang out with us. We'll have an MSP Unplugged community, and we want to thank Channel Pro for allowing us to do that. And we really appreciate Joel Zaidspinner for helping us out with that. So that's it from me, Rick. You want to take it home?
Sure.
Or you want me to do it, or you want me to take it?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Again, I'd like to thank everyone for listening and joining us. And once you tune in every Tuesday and Thursday, watch the video podcast on youtube.com/MSP Unplugged or facebook.com/MSP Unplugged. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification button to be notified when new episodes are available. You can also take us on the go with your favorite podcatcher, which I've just recently started doing. We're on Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I want to thank everyone again for listening, and we'll see you next time on MSP Unplugged.